So, I hope this thing is recording. I don't know right now. I figured with all of the mental illness that I have, I would start documenting changes that I feel, triggers, and things like that. I'm in one of those kind of moods today. I can't explain it. I got such a migraine, and I know that I've only got a few minutes before I'm going to get sick and start throwing up, and I'll be sick for a long time, laying on the floor with my head pounding. I've already tried to take something to head it off, and it's not helping. It's just getting worse. So I know what I'm fixing to go through, and I know why it's happening. A lot of triggers was set off yesterday. I had a very bad day yesterday. My husband had surgery. He thought he had he's got a high anal hernia. I think I'm saying that right. Or umbilical hernia. Umbilical hernia. That's what it is. I've got high anal hernia. But he'd been real sick for days, and I could tell he was getting worse, so I made him get up and go to the hospital. And sure enough, they did a CAT scan and put him right into surgery. It's hard for me to be in places that I'm not used to, that I'm kind of used to the hospital. It's hard for me to be in places where there's lots of people, which it was really calm. It's crazy how there's really no action in the hospitals now. Not like it used to be. You can actually get took care of now. But, it was raining. The rain kind of changes my mood a little bit. Can't explain it. And it's either it'll make me depressed and my vision will be really bad, or it'll give me life, if that makes sense. So I can't stay in one place very long, out of my comfort zone. I'm afraid of being out in public, and I'm afraid of people seeing me. My generalized anxiety makes me feel like everybody is, talking about me, making fun of me, staring at me, giving me weird looks, watching my every move, criticizing my hair, my makeup, the way I walk. Just everything that you can imagine that some rude, hateful person would say or think about another one, just shaming people. And I'm always afraid that that's happening. I knew that I had to come back and let the dogs out. And I knew that I couldn't sit there in that hospital any longer because I was starting to feel claustrophobic and I was starting to get sick. And it kind of makes me feel like being in jail, kind of. And I don't know why. Maybe because, I don't know, maybe because the girl that I stabbed years ago, I was arrested in the hospital while they were, fixing me up. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but so I tried to leave, and I was going to go to a friend's house because I really felt like I needed to be around somebody familiar, somebody who knew the kind of state that I was in. And I needed to come home and let the dogs out, and I needed to get the house ready and the bed ready for John for when he came out of the hospital so I could get him home easily and lay down. And all of this was just weighing on me. All this is what I gotta do. I gotta stop by the store. I gotta go out in public. I gotta stop by the store by myself and go get things that I can't remember what the hell I'm there to get. I'll forget 3 or 4 times along the way of getting there what I'm going after. As soon as I remember, I forget it again. And I ended up not being able to go to the friend's house because she was sick. And so I went on to the Dollar General, and I knew that I had to get these things because John's not going to be driving for a few days. And I wanted to try to do it myself. I wanted to try to be a wife and go run errands and make sure everything was took care of and nothing that we needed, so that I could take care of John when I got him home. And I just wanted to be able to do it by myself. When I got in the store, I'm okay at first because there's really no one there. But then this woman comes in, and I could tell, there was a man with her, and I could tell that they were on drugs, serious drugs, and that it had already warped their minds. And my spirit showed me a little bit of the situation that they were in, which didn't really freak me out. But what bothered me was she was the kind of person that, when they come into a store somewhere, they're behind you looking on the other shelf and they're talking to themselves. Well, where's this at? Is this it? I wonder what this has got in it. I wonder how much this is. Is this even? No, this is not even the right color. How much is that? Oh, I can't. It's like, are they, they're literally talking to themselves. But in my head, to be around someone that is on drugs or mentally mentally limited or whatever, it messes with my head so bad. It's very easy for me to read people, and I've learned how to analyze people as a mechanism of protecting myself from some people. And so I study and I analyze everybody, and the spirit talks to me, and I automatically know what I need to know about somebody, and already what I knew about them, and I'm already triggering. I mean, it just really messed with me. And I tried to get away from her every aisle I went down. She had to go down the aisle. And then I cut the corner just in time that the guy she was with just about ran into me. And it was the first time I'd seen him face to face. And he, to me, looked very scary. And immediately my mind told me I was fixing to be attacked. But yet there was another part of me that knew that I wasn't. But there was another part of me that felt like I was, and I literally ran down the aisle and a couple aisles down to get away from him. And then I ended up in line, and it was a really long line, and there was this young boy standing in front of me. I don't know, maybe 14, he might have been a little older. He kept staring at me for some reason. He kept literally turning around and facing me to stare at me. I think that's what he was doing. At the moment, it seemed like that's what he was doing. And I kept making eye contact with him because I was wondering, what is it? It felt like he was going to say something to me. He looked at me several times like he wanted to say something to me. And I couldn't read him. I couldn't read him because not only was the crazy druggy people were in line behind me, but a lovely black older woman came in, and lots of them do the same thing. They walk around talking to themselves, and I try to get away from them, but I was trying to distract myself, and she was looking for a mask and whatever, and so I pointed her in the right direction, and she kind of distracted me from what was happening inside of my head. And as I'm standing in line, I'm starting to just feel panicky, and I start getting really hot. And immediately pain just starts from my feet all the way up to, my ears. And my arms went kind of numb and tingly, and my toes went kind of tingly. And then I make it out to the car, and I'm getting in a car. And I know where I'm at. I used to live there. I know how to get from there to anywhere in Hickory, Morganton. I know the area well. And I got out on the road, and I couldn't remember which way to go, what to do. And I was so distracted by it that there was a man walking down the road. And I just glanced down at my phone because it lit up. I just glanced down and looked back up real quick. And I almost hit the man. I didn't see him walking down the road to begin with. I didn't see him until I almost hit him. And I was doing about 45. And it scared me to death. And it's raining. And by now I can't focus. I can't concentrate. And I move into this state of just staring out into space as I'm driving. I can see the other cars around me. It's like I split into two people. One of them sees the cars that are around me, and the other one sees nothing. Nothing at all. And it's like the one that sees the cars around me will kind of yell at me, "Hey, stop." Or they'll yell at me, and I'll look up, and I'm so close to ramming someone in the back end. That happened like 4 times. I'm lost. I nearly hit a man. It's raining. I feel like I'm, like the movie, what's those critters? The Gremlins, I think it was. Like if they got hit with water, they multiplied. And if they got touched with water, they multiplied, and they multiplied a lot. And that's what it felt like in my head, like all these different parts of me were just popping out and just coming out. And I was so lost. I didn't know where I was going, what I was supposed to be doing. All I knew is that I was supposed to get to John, and I needed to go home and let the dogs out, and then I needed to get back to John. But it's like 3 or 4 people were functioning at one time, and they all had to keep telling one of me what to do, kind of like, wake up, watch out, open your eyes. So finally I decided I was going to try to do the GPS. And then my phone wanted to be crazy, and it just took forever. And finally I get the GPS. And at some point it tells me that it's going to take me on a different route, because the road that I was going to go down was blocked off. And they was going to take me another route, and it was the fastest route, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm taking all the turns, and every turn that it's taken. And I realize I'm still in an area that I used to live. I know the area. And suddenly I realize that I don't know where I'm at. I'm looking around and nothing looks familiar. The roads sounded familiar, the ones that the GPS was telling me to turn on, but nothing looked familiar at all, and I started panicking. And I started wondering, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, I'll pull over and call James. And then I realized I don't know what to tell him where I'm at. I don't know where I'm at. I don't see nothing but houses. I don't know how to tell him. And if I'm lucky enough to get him on the phone, he's going to ask me over and over where am I at or how to get there. And it's going to be one question after another. And I can't do that. More than 2, 3 questions, and sometimes just one question. And I'm lost. My mind goes blank. I don't know where I'm at. I'm not present. I can't think. I can't make a complete thought at all. So I knew I didn't want to try to do that, because it would just throw me over the edge. So, I'm following the GPS, and it leads me down some road. I just go with it because the GPS is the only thing I have that I can kind of tries to get me where I'm going. And it takes me down a road that, boom, all of a sudden, there is no road. There's about a 10-foot stretch across where it looked like the road had just been washed out, gone. No road, nothing. Parts of the road are fell in. You can see the big asphalt blocks and stuff. And so I turn around, and then I'm following the GPS again, because now that I've turned around, I'm trying to get out of here, but the GPS is making me make U-turns and go back to where it just told me to go, and I have no freaking way of saying, hey, you stupid GPS, the fucking road's out. Have no way. And I'm riding around in this neighborhood, around and around and around and around, and I see these people walking in, and I thought, stop and ask them how to get to where you're going. But I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what or how to tell them where I was trying to get to. I know my street name, but it's not likely you're just going to pull up on a stranger and say, hey, how do you get to such and such address, street address? How do you get to my house? It's not likely that they're going to know the name of your street and know where it's at. I just didn't have the courage to say anything to them. And I don't know, so many emotions hit me. I was afraid of them. I was afraid to talk to them. I was afraid that they would think I was crazy. I was afraid they wouldn't know. I was afraid I wouldn't know what to tell them. You know, that I need help, but I don't know what I'm needing, where I'm going. So I'm lost. And I ride around and around and around praying. And finally, I had to put back in my friend's address and head back to my friend's address back in that location until I found a road that I did recognize. And I did know how to get home. So I found it, I got on it, and suddenly I knew how to get home. And I made it home. Let the dogs out just to find out that one had gotten out of the cage and pooped. Her stomach was messed up. She can't eat table food, and I gave her rib bones. And she had pooped, which really, by then I was so angry and so upset because my house has got to be clean. It can't stink. It can't have poop. It can't. It was just too much. It was unacceptable. It was just too much, and I didn't even have time to clean it. I started running out of gas on my way home. And sometimes I just cannot go to a gas station and go in where there's men at or people inside. I don't know who's inside. I can't see them from the outside. I don't know what's going on the inside. Is somebody holding the place up? Are they robbing the place? Is there pedophiles in there? Is somebody going to follow me home? And when I get like this, my vision gets so bad that I can't see anyways. Everything is foggy, so I can't look at people's faces and analyze them. I can't tell if I'm in danger or not. And when I'm like this, I don't know how to use a gas pump anymore. I don't know how to use the gas pump anymore sometimes. And so I come home and I asked James if he would go. I had texted and I had called. And he didn't get either one because he was in the shower. So I asked James if, before he left work, if he could go get me some gas in my car for me. That I just had a bad day, my mind wasn't right, and I just didn't think I could do it. And the door was cracked open a little bit so that I could hear him, and I saw him throw his head against the wall like, you know, he's such a strange person to live with. Talking about disassociated with things. But I've always felt like I've been a problem to people my entire life. I felt like I was a burden to people. And even now, you know, my children have proven that they feel like I'm a burden. And I know what's going to happen to me in future years, and I'm going to be a burden on somebody. And I hate it. I hate feeling that way, especially when it's my loved ones, because I don't understand how you can really love someone that's your family and feel like they're a burden, or feel like that you don't want to do something for them. So it just caused me to flash back. And it's, you know, I immediately started thinking about how shitty everybody's always treated me my whole life. And so I just told him, never mind. I didn't clean up the dog poop. I put the dog back up because I needed to get out of the house at that point. I needed to get out, and I needed to get away from the moment. And so I left thinking, and at this point I'm getting angry, because I get really angry when people who are supposed to love me make me feel unwanted or hated or a nuisance or a problem. And maybe I hate it because I know it's true. I know I've been a nuisance and a problem to people. My family has never had a problem in telling me that. I just don't understand how you can love somebody and treat them bad, or not consider their situations, or how you can have family and not love them. So I don't know, so when I get mad at that point, there's a side of me that steps in and says, I'm tired of people treating me this way. I'm tired of being treated this way. I'm tired of being treated hateful. And then I start getting angry. And then I think about killing myself. Because to me, there's only two things that I can do. I can get up and move the hell out of this state, or I can just kill myself, because even if I move out of this state, there's just going to be another problem somewhere else, and I know that. Because my problems are in my head, and I know that I can't run from them. So anyways, I get to the gas pump. I'm a big girl. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it on my own. And I get there. And suddenly, for the first time in my life, been driving since I was 6, really. Been pumping gas for my daddy since I was 6. I'm 46 and suddenly I don't know how to use the gas pump. I don't know how to use the credit card machine on the gas pump. The lady inside had to come out there and do it for me. Then I'm trying to get across town and get on the highway so I can get back to the hospital to pick up my husband. And suddenly I find myself a couple counties over, a couple cities over, totally going in the wrong direction. And then I start to panic. I'm running off the road. I try to switch lanes, and I'm in this state of panic because there's cars around me, there's cars passing me, it's raining. There's big trucks. I'm stuck in the middle of trucks. I'm terrified of trucks. I go to switch lanes, and I didn't even see the woman behind me, and I ran her off the road. I could have caused a major problem. But by then I'm out of it and I'm driving on autopilot. I can't focus, I can't see, I can't. And then I don't know what to put on my GPS to get me back to where I'm going. So I struggle with that for a while. Then I remember where I'm going. So I put it in the GPS and I make it there. However, on my way, the woman called and asked where I was at because he was done and ready to be picked up. And she told me he wasn't in the same spot, that he was going to be somewhere else. And for me to drive here, stop sign, blah, blah, blah. I'm going down the highway. I'm in a state of panic. I'm crying. It's raining. My windows are down because I can't stand for them to be up. And she's trying to give me directions. I don't really hear a word that she's telling me. She can tell me and I'll forget it right then. Tell me and forget it right then. So finally I just decided to, that this was freaking me out. Too much was going on at one time. I'm trying to drive and I'm freaking out, and I make out like I understand what she's telling me. And I just tell myself when I get there I'll just call. I'll try to remember what I can remember. I get to the hospital, I couldn't remember anything. The only thing I could remember was I dropped him off at the emergency room. That's it. That's all. And I remembered that the woman told me that I would be picking him up in day surgery. Baby, I'm about done. If you'll let me just get done, I'll do all that for you. So, I get there. I go to where I think she's told me to go. I've drove all over the hospital. I'll get out and go and try to go in. The door's locked. Go around to the other side. The door's locked. There'll be notes here. This door's locked. Go to the other door. Go over there. The door's locked. I tried every building in the area where she told me to go. I tried every door. all the doors was locked. So I go back to the emergency room, and I pull up, and I walk in, and I said, my husband, I dropped him off here. I got a phone call to pick him up in day surgery. So he proceeds to tell me where day surgery is, while everybody else is coming in, and some frantic-y woman comes in, and I shouldn't just say frantic-y. I know she brought her little baby in, and I passed her on the way out, and I looked down at the baby, but I knew that the baby would be okay, and of course she don't. It's her baby. But, you know, he's just checking me in at the door to check to see if you got a fever before you even go into the hospital. So she just comes running up in a frantic panic, interrupts us, telling him that the doctor said her daddy can come in with her to see the baby. And it aggravated me. It really aggravated me because I'm in a state of panic. I've got to pick up my husband. I've just went through all of this other crap. And I can barely hold on to anything that he has said to me. So he's trying to tell me again. And then there's people piling up behind me, walking past me, through past these people coming in behind me, which I'm now in this state of panic, complete panic all over, and anxiety and fear. And I'm freaking because I don't know which one of the people coming in behind me is going to grab me around the throat and cut my throat, or choke me, or put a knife in my back, or shoot me. I don't know who's behind me. All I know is all of this is going on at one time, and I'm trying to find out where to pick up my husband. So all I heard this man say was 2 stop signs and MRI, take left. I just walked away because everybody else was out there talking to him and interrupting us, and I couldn't deal with it anymore, so I just left. And I went and did exactly what he said. 2 stop signs, MRI building, take a left, and then I finally found the place. So I park, and I go up to the door. 2 guys are in there cleaning the floors, but the door won't open. It's an automatic door, and it won't open. So I see a sign on the door that says use side door. So I walk over to the side door. I open it. I was like, yes. I walk in. There's another door. I try to open it. No, it's locked. And, like, right now, no, baby, it's okay. It's like, right now my husband's coming in here to sit down and eat, and no, go ahead, don't stop. And now it's just I don't know. I don't know what I feel. I don't mind being around him. I don't mind him being around me. He knows my stories. I tell him everything. But now I just can't. I can't finish now. I can't focus. It's hard. It's hard for even someone that I love and trust and know to hear me doing my videos, or see me doing my videos when I'm triggered. Because I feel like even he thinks I'm a drama queen. Or I'm just trying to get attention. But I know that that's not what he thinks. I have to stop. I have to stop because and I know he's thinking he needs to get up and leave, and I don't want him to feel that way. But now I'm feeling a little resentful of talking. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk anymore.